translate this longer response time situation and how serious it is?
Hard to know exactly what he's talking about. My supposition, he's talking about basically people requesting service on their cars. And what's happening now is Tesla, as we've been talking about for months, is in the middle of a sprint to get as many cars manufactured and then delivered to customers as possible. And so feels like they're having some kind of normal customer service snafu. So I don't know. Until we learn more, I wouldn't read too much into it. Although I definitely want to start looking at what customers are saying, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
So perhaps more serious, Ivan, is this continued executive turnover, and now specifically in the finance department, we had the chief accounting officer leave, as well as other finance executives, and now yet another. How concerning is it that Tesla can't keep people in these very important positions as this company is working towards profitability?
Well, it's never good to have turnover, especially of key executives. However, I do believe there's a long line of people who would love to work at Tesla. I don't think they are going to have a hard time replacing anybody that's leaving any of these positions. The opportunity to still get in on what is the ground floor of a company that is, making huge changes to the automobile industry, and that is very appealing to people who are in Silicon Valley, and a lot of companies do have high turnover. People in Silicon Valley tend to look for the next big opportunity. So the turnover is never good, but I think there's opportunity to fill the positions pretty easily.
Well, and this is extremely high turnover. Of course, we are focused on it. Max, we've got an entire Bloomberg team, trying to talk to current and former Tesla employees. What are employees leaving? What are they saying?
I mean, I think what's happening now, what's been happening for the past few weeks, I would think would be extremely demotivating to many Tesla employees. I mean, you have people who have been basically working around the clock. I mean, including Elon Musk, at least during some days. And while that's going on, you have this kind of whole drama that feels like something close to self-sabotage. So while I think that Ivan's right that, sure, they're going to be able to hire people. This is a company, obviously, with a lot of growth potential ahead of it. There is the problem of, when you have a lot of turnover, it saps productivity. And when you have these kind of self-inflicted wounds, these distractions, that also saps productivity. And this is a company that can't really afford that right now. They are trying to work as fast as they can to get these cars out the door.
Meantime, Ivan, we heard Gwynne Shotwell, the COO of SpaceX, Elon's other company, comment on what she believes Elon to be as capable and lucid as he's ever been. She wishes people wouldn't focus on the trivialities. What to you, as someone who is analyzing this company, what are the trivialities, and what of all the news that has made headlines in the last several weeks, what matters? What matters when it comes to your evaluation of the capability of Elon Musk and the potential of Tesla?
Well, the recent events surrounding Elon have been pretty shocking. However, the focus is still on the car. I don't really believe that anybody in a Tesla showroom considering purchasing a Tesla is really thinking about what Elon is doing. They're thinking about if they like the car, and the car has a lot of appeal. I mean, the interest in the car is still very high. They have a long pipeline of people who want Model 3s. So I don't really know if it affects the key thing, which is the sale of the vehicles.
Max, is that the case? Or are there customers out there who might be questioning, is my car safe? Am I going to be able to buy another one of these in 3 years?
So two things. One is, I think the sort of legacy Tesla customer, the people who bought the Roadster, which was the super fast sports car, and the Model S, which was their sort of high-end sedan, those people aren't turned off by Elon Musk going on a podcast and using some, drugs. But I do think as this company tries to make, a quote-unquote mass market car, an electric Toyota Corolla or whatever, Toyota Corolla buyers, don't care about cool. They want a car that is safe and reliable. So I do think there's some long-term risk, if the company isn't able to get its sort of image under control. The other thing is, this is a situation where you have a lot of little cuts, and if they're able to get things turned around, if they have a good quarter, if Elon keeps things relatively buttoned up on Twitter for a while, I think this kind of dies down, and maybe we go back to business as usual. But if there's another problem, say some kind of accident at the factory, or a driverless car situation. We've seen a couple of those before, or who knows what. That could kind of start to pile on and create a narrative that would be bad for Tesla.
Meantime, Ivan, Tesla is remotely extending the life of some car batteries as Hurricane Florence encroaches on the East Coast. Is this just good PR? Is this significant? And if it is significant, why can't they do this for everyone?
Well, see, the way that they continue to upgrade and increase the serviceability is to download software and firmware upgrades from the satellite. So I think that they probably will do this once they find that they do have the capability to do this. Now, the software can control actually how much electricity is being drawn by the motor. So if there's a way of extending that part of it, they can extend the battery life, which this process may be a recent breakthrough that they are just starting to put out as an upgrade cycle. So they do keep upgrading the cars through upgrading the software.
So Max, walk us through the milestones that you and we are going to be charting through the rest of the year.
So we're going to have, more, another quarter coming up, and we're going to see, whether this company is on pace in terms of their production and also in terms of, profits and losses. Like they've been doing all these sort of very aggressive maneuvers to cut costs. So we want to look at that. The other thing that I think is coming up, and this is a little bit further out, is going to be the launch of the Model Y. Now, when Tesla introduced the Model 3, the most recent car, there was huge interest. Orders were through the roof. Elon's going to get out there at some point early next year, unveil this new electric SUV, a sort of compact SUV, and we'll see if our customers going to reserve that thing in the same numbers that they reserved the Model 3. Okay. And if that happens, I think that's a good sign.